Hello and welcome.
Hello.
This is another video, actually.
Is it?
It is.
It is now. Okay.
We just have all this equipment around us. We have all our stuff on, and it is. It's not another video.
This is
yet.
all candid.
This is all. It's all canon, actually. All of our videos are canon. All the Matt and Tim videos are all canon.
In what? In what story?
Well, there's.
All right, that's not important now. We're playing Fallout New Vegas because Fallout 4 is coming out in like 2 weeks.
That's correct, and you actually just viewed the E3 conference for the first time, the Bethesda one.
The first time I was avoiding it because I was trying to avoid anything at all to do with the game as far as spoilers and stuff. I just wanted it to be a fresh experience, but I don't really care about that anymore. I'm too excited for it now. So.
And so, what did you think about the conference overall?
There was a lot of stuff. He was showing off a lot of stuff. Pretty much everything that Todd Howard talked about was so hype. Like, the crowd was freaking out about everything, understandably, because it's so similar to the other Fallout games, and yet there's so much production in Fallout 4. Everything is so much bigger. The world physically is bigger, as far as even just mechanics. Everything is so much more flushed out, and like the customization for the weapons and stuff is just huge. It's ridiculous.
You know what I find what Fallout 4 is doing is it's sort of bridging that creative gap, if you will, and I'll explain that. So, in my opinion, what it's doing is it's taking the Fallout that we know, and in Fallout, like, the characters are, jury-rigging things together because things are hundreds of years old at this point. Mm-hmm. They're jury-rigging things together, they're scavenging, there's not much around, etc. They're building buildings out of, old pallets and, like, other things just in the world. And we all kind of saw that, and it was just sort of, like, part of the lore, like, that art, that creative, if you will. But now you're doing it.
Yeah.
Now you're seeing it, now you're interacting with it, now you're creating yourself.
You're interacting with the world in a way that you didn't before. Like, you would go into a place and you'd see this ramshackle house, and you're like, okay, whatever, it's just a model they put into the game.
Exactly.
And now you can do that yourself. So that's pretty fun, cool. Anyway, so I guess this is kind of going to be like podcast style. We're just going to be kind of talking over the game. I'm just going to be doing, dicking around whatever in New Vegas, because I've played this game a lot. I know that you prefer 3. I personally prefer New Vegas.
Now, we actually had a discussion about this, several discussions about this over the years, and I think that was actually because I played New Vegas when it was brand new. Like, yep. I quite literally pre-ordered it and played it when it was brand new. So I never...
worst state.
Yeah, so there were, like, geckos stuck in rocks. There were quests not activating. It was literally to the point of me doing quests the quick way because I was afraid of it glitching out and me not being able to complete progress. So I'd be like, oh man, like, I'm not gonna go do this extra, like, arc in the story or this arc in this particular quest because I just want to finish it, make sure I get my reward, and actually finish it up.
Yeah, you just wanted to rush the game so that you didn't
get stuck,
frig off, and screw up. So I'm just gonna call him something stupid like what am I even doing here?
What are you doing?
There you go. Let's call my...
It's weird going back to a 360.
I haven't played
What the heck?
Never mind.
For all you Redditors out there.
I haven't played the 360 version of this game in a long time. But, whatever. It was easier for us to record it this way, so we'll just do it this way.
Yeah, it's fine.
Because more so, it's the discussion is more important than the meat of the content, basically.
Yeah, so we're basically trying to focus on Fallout 4. What would you say is your... Now that you've seen pretty much everything that's been divulged about Fallout 4.
Pretty much right.
What will you be spending the most time doing now?
It's hard to say. I'm probably going to be doing a lot of the customization stuff. I think right off the bat, the bulk of my time is going to be spent scavenging because I want to see just what's possible as far as building stuff.
Like you're building
weapons
your village.
Weapons and the town as well. And like Todd Howard said, like, that part's totally optional. You don't have to build a town.
It's crazy that they have such a massive part, and you would figure that they would kind of almost force it on you in the story. Now, it could be in the story at some point, or it could be introduced at least in the story at some point, but he did say, like you said, it's completely optional. It's just surprising to me that it's not a major part of the story, because it's such a large section. Like, they definitely spent a lot of time doing that. Especially since they added the terminals the random electronics and all that stuff that you can actually put into your village to attract people and actually do stuff.
Yeah.
It's just shocking to me that they would just almost nonchalantly be like, yeah, if you don't want to do this, I mean, just don't.
I'm sure it's going to be the same thing with like the power armor, where you're going to come across it, like probably pretty early on, and then you'll be allowed to continue on with it if you want to. If not, then whatever. Just continue on. Like there'll be a part for it in the story, and it'll introduce it to you, and then that's it. Because that seems to be the way that games do those sorts of things.
Well, if you notice in the beginning, like when you in the, I don't know what you want to call it, gameplay trailer, whatever it is, but in the E3 conference, when you kind of emerge from that vault, and whether that'll be how the player actually starts the game, I realize it's going to start pre-war, but actually starts the free roam part. The demo character actually goes down into the town, meets Codsworth. I think that town where you meet Codsworth is actually where you're going to actually start doing this type of thing, because your garage is there and everything. So I think you might be right. It might be one of those things where it's like, you go meet Codsworth, talk to him, whatever. You go to Dogmeat, whatever. You go to your workshop, and maybe some of the stuff that you need is actually on, like, in the workshop or something like that, like in that menu system. So you kind of like clear out those mole rats, go, start working around in there, and then you're introduced to things slowly. Oh, you can salvage this, you can salvage that, fix up the gas station, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that's probably where you'll see the bulk of the introductory, introducing you to the parts of the game where you can customize that sort of stuff. And like you'll start to realize that you can scavenge things, and you'll be exposed to all the ground level things for all the ground level mechanics of the game. So the very basic for gunplay and VATS and looting and equipping, like the multi-level armor system.
Oh yeah, the tiered armor, the
layered armor, and all that sort of stuff, right? So
I hope that'll
be like your tutorial town, basically.
I hope that it's not gimmicky. Like I hope it's not gimmicky in a way where when you do it, it becomes routine very quickly. I find that things that are more gimmicky in games, where it's just like a mechanic for the sake of having a mechanic there to almost like advertise it as a feature, are usually become like gimmicky very quick. Where I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna build this building. All my buildings pretty much look the same. Now they did show off quite a bit of buildings, but all of them are very scrap-like. There's a few metal ones, but I hope that there's more options in terms of the modules that you can place to actually construct the buildings. I understand that they had like the angled placement, like they showed off a little bit of that. They showed off the different types of doors and all that crazy stuff. But I really hope that there's more there than just wood structure with a few pieces of metal.
I'm sure like the later you get into the game, the more like variety of like parts you'll find.
Yeah,
like
the
higher quality salvage you'll get. Yeah.
And he did say that there were several areas in which you could do this, which is pretty exciting. And I believe it's also confirmed that there's actually a caravan trading system between the towns.
He did say that.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. So that's gonna be awesome too, because now you're gonna wanna like make your towns better, so that there's more people there, so that there's more trade going on. Are you excited at all for the I don't know what you want to call it, like the circuitry, the intricate parts of the town, where like obviously you have your building, but now you got your traps and your protection, and like, do you want to be hassled with all that, or?
I mean, obviously I'm gonna try it. It's probably gonna be the kind of thing where I'll build the town the way I want it, and then I'll go back later with the circuitry and wire up the guns, wire up the lights, that sort of stuff.
Okay, I think that's only one of the best things for me, actually. I think it's going to be one of my favorite things, is because I like Minecraft.
I was going to say it's very Minecrafty with the circuitry.
So now you can finally build these cool machines. You're going into these terminals and you're controlling the sentries, and you're positioning the sentries this time. You're not just hacking the sentry to turn it off like you would in the previous Fallout titles. So it's pretty interesting in that way.